this. Okay, welcome, welcome everyone. Today is Saturday, the 13th of July, and we are gathered here to do a lunar eclipse portal ceremony for transformation and healing. And I just want to see, thanks. Okay, so somebody sent me a message. But anyway, thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is a very, very potent time. And I'm going to be talking about that more, but I want to start by first, again, sort of reiterating my thanks for your being here and for your willingness to show up in your own lives, however you show up, which I know each of you. So I know that you're showing up in a way that is in service to a greater vision than what we're currently experiencing on the planet. So that's the first thing I want to say. Now I want to kind of touch on a couple of the themes first. We're going to go deeper into it in a bit, and then we'll get started sort of formally. We are in a sort of portal right now. We're between the new moon solar eclipse and the full moon lunar eclipse, the latter of which happens on Tuesday in the afternoon Pacific time, in the evening, I believe, in like the UK. So this is a window of time, and I'm going to be showing you some of the bigger picture astrology pieces without getting too geeky on astrology for those of you who aren't astrologers, to give you the real themes of what's going on here. But the big strokes, the broad strokes, this is about letting go of what no longer serves us individually and collectively, especially where it relates to power, systems of control, and oppressive or restrictive structures. We're going to go into that in detail in a little bit. This is also about, remember, it's a portal, so there's like the doorway, there's when we go into a new moon eclipse, this can be like the veiling of the light. And then we have that segment of time between the new moon and the full moon where we might feel like we're sort of grappling around in the darkness, or things are coming up for us to clear. And again, this is individually as well as collectively. And then sometimes at the full moon the full moon lunar eclipse, that's when things can be revealed, things can rise to the surface. So this is also about remembering and reclaiming who we truly are as divine beings and letting go of seeing ourselves as small and helpless against external forces. So those are the broad stroke themes, and I'm going to share with you a tarot card. So I pulled a card this morning and I got this one. And this is that thing, like, look, there's someone under a cloud. They're like, oh no, it's raining, it's so bad. And you see, it's just this itty bitty little cloud. And so this is really it's the illusions that we sometimes live under when we believe that we are powerless. And we are moving through a cycle of change. So here we have the two of earth, the Ouroboros of the serpent biting its tongue, where it's wrapped around the earth and the cosmos, where we really begin to call down and reintegrate the cosmic truth of our divinity. So we're moving from the illusions to the cosmic consciousness. That's one way of looking at it. So that's the big picture. And now I want to invite us all to really prepare for this sharing and ceremony. So I'm going to start the way I like to start my ceremonies, which is calling in guides, angels, and casting a circle. So we'll begin by taking a few breaths, and you're welcome to close your eyes if you'd like. Get yourself centered where you can feel yourself comfortably sitting on your sit bones. And begin to bring your attention inward. Letting all that I said just now and shared, just let it drop away for now. Knowing that your subconscious mind has gathered whatever key pieces are essential. And breathing in, letting that breath be the vehicle that brings you into this now moment, deeply into the center of who you are. And as you exhale, allowing any distractions, thoughts, noise, whatever, just to release, just shed it on the exhale. Good. And again, breathing in, pulling your energy, your attention, your focus inward. And as you exhale, just allow yourself to release any tension, any distraction, giving yourself permission to come here now. Good. And one more breath in. And release on the exhale. And now I want to invite each of you to take a moment to call in your own team of helpers, guides, master teachers in the non-physical, angels, archangels, any beings, maybe you connect with the fairy realm, any of your wisdom guides. Oh, I feel the fairies coming in, so someone's got strong fairy connection here. Just calling in your personal team of support for this sacred work. And we welcome all the master teachers, angels, guides, fairies, wisdom keepers that join us in the circle. And now I want to invoke the spirits of the four directions, the guides, the master teachers, the ancestors, the energies of the elementals, from the east, the air, and the guardians of the air energy and the wisdom and the mind and the thought and the vision that comes from the east. And the fire energy of the south, the creativity and sexuality, the keepers, the wisdom keepers of the south. And the west, the waters, the intuition, the feelings, emotions, and oceans of great vastness. We call upon those guides and keepers of the waters to come now. And the north, the energies of the earth, the mountains, the ancient ones, the knowing of physical form, the wisdom keepers of the north, please come to the circle. From the east and the south and the west and the north, I call in our guides, angels, teachers, wisdom keepers, guardians, ancestors to come, hold us in the sacred space that we may do work that is in service to love and light and awakening. The circle is cast. Thank you, sisters. And when you're ready, you can take a breath and open your eyes. And you can just take a moment now and set your own intention for what you are bringing to this and what you would like to offer your energy and service to. So just silently set an intention. Good. Okay. So I'm going to begin now with the actual, I'm going to share the screen and begin with this. Can you all see the screen? You can give me a thumbs up, those of you with your cameras on. Can you see? Great. Okay, I'm going to move this bit over here. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. Okay, welcome to the Lunar Eclipse Portal for Transformation and Healing. Today is July 13th, but the actual eclipse date is July 16th. And for those of you who may be new, most of you know me, but it looks like there may be one or two of you on here who haven't met me yet. And I know there's many people who registered for this, some of whom were referred by friends who are going to get the recording. So very quickly, I'm going to share a little bit about me. I've been on a spiritual path for 35 years since my son was born. That's taken me through many convolutions and, experiences, as it does. Today I serve as an astrologer, a priestess, a teacher of spiritual principles, a writer. I've been a professional writer for many years and also a published author. I'm an international retreat leader, a ceremonialist. I'm a mom, as I already said. I have one son, he's 35. And I'm also a life and business coach for spiritual business owners who really need to bring their services to the world and have authentic ways of doing that. If you want to find out more about me, you can go to my website, DelVecchio.com. And then I have two quick announcements, which I made a bigger deal about on some of the other calls, but I really am going briefly here because I want to get into the key pieces. I know that those who feel connected with my work will go research and find out what they need to find out. But just so you know, I have a Bali retreat coming up in October and a Thailand retreat in February. If you're interested in finding out more, you can go to priestessschool.info/retreats. And then I also offer, typically on these calls, because I've done several of them now, if you want to go deep dive into your astrology, I'm an evolutionary astrologer, so I look at your soul's evolutionary journey. You can go to my website, DelVecchio.com/special-offer. And we're going to be looking at some astrology today, so this might pique your curiosity as to how these particular astrological powerful events are impacting you specifically related to your birth chart. So that's what the astrology service could be of service to you for. And there are a number of you here who are actually already my astrology clients, so welcome, welcome. Okay, so I'm calling this the gateway of transformation. And as I already said at the beginning of the call, we are between the new moon eclipse and the full moon eclipse. So the new moon solar eclipse and the full moon lunar eclipse. And this particular eclipse is a gateway of transformation for a number of reasons, which I will be unpacking here as we go along. So before we get into the sort of heady teaching piece of it, let's just again take a nice deep breath. We'll be doing this a few times. So taking a breath, really get connected with the part of you that can take in information and filter it from the full connection with your embodiment, your spirit, mind, body, and not just your head. And I invite you to do this because I'm also inviting myself to do this. Good. Okay. So the bigger window of this eclipse portal started on last month's full moon and ends with the next new moon. So we've got sort of some layers. We've got the new moon to the full moon. That's the tightest window of this eclipse portal where there are eclipses. But then we stretch it out to the previous lunar cycle, so the full moon and then the new moon on July 31st. But the things that are happening at this time they're located in events that are activating some bigger cosmic events that are going to be happening in 2020. And that's what we are going to be looking at here. So this particular eclipse is actually, it's almost like a trigger point. And I got to come up with a better word than that because that's related to guns. But anyway, I hope you understand what I mean. It's like it's activating, it's a turn-on point for a greater narrative of our awakening on planet Earth. And some of that I'm going to show you in a moment here. So first I want to talk about some of these concepts and have you do a little bit of self-reflective exercise here. We're in the midst of this portal. We are between the old patterns and structures and the new. There are some things we have to shed so that we can walk through the gateway into the new. And again, this is happening on a collective level, but it's also happening on a personal, individual level. And your astrological chart, I mean, many of you here, you're already wisdom elders in your own right. So you probably already know exactly what this is about for you, archetypally, thematically. But as an astrologer, one of the things I do is help people look at where the bigger themes of what's happening are playing out in their individual charts, so they can figure out where their strengths are and what they need to leverage or work with or dance with in order to actually do the sacred work of healing and transformation in their lives. So they're not banging their head up against the wall, basically. And in another time, in another place, and I'll share with you my story of my own banging my head up against the wall at 35 years old, that brought me to astrology in the first place. But that's another story. Okay, so the shadow material is really emerging from the bowels of our collective and individual unconsciousness right now. And what that means is that we're seeing a lot of crazy stuff going down, and it's going to get crazier. And that's on the bigger sort of public arena. But I want to take a moment here. I just added this in this morning. This next two bullet points here, anxiety frequency entities, and we have to get clear. No, we have to get clear was already there, but this piece right here, this bullet point. Of late, I am amazed at how many people are reaching out to me privately to tell me they are having night terrors, anxiety, and feel as if, or self-loathing, self-hate, like in an intense way. And they feel as if they are being tormented by demons, basically. And they might not say it in that language. So I need to talk about this a little bit, and I need to talk about it in two ways, or I want to talk about it, because I feel that there are a number of people who have registered for this event. I can't see all of you right now as I'm doing this. I don't know if any of you are on here now. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the recording. So I want to talk about the two levels of this. Now, everything is, when we understand that the nature of reality, we come to understand that we're creating it all, that there is no out there other. It's all in here reflected out there. And that which we are not owning in ourselves is showing up in our lives as challenges, gifts and abilities in others that we wish we had, and fear and stress and other things. And if this is new information to you and it doesn't make sense, just bear with me right now, because I want to talk, again, I'm going to talk about this at two levels. So what's happening right now because of the energies that we're being influenced by astrologically, and in terms of where we are in the galactic alignment with galactic center and the higher frequency photon belt we're moving through, is that, so if this were your conscious mind, this hand right here, my hand right here, my fist underneath the hand is like the subconscious buried material that's wanting to emerge into conscious awareness so that it could come to the light, so it can be healed, cleared, transmuted, transformed, and released. Now, if we are not owning our shadow material, or we can't recognize it, because for many incarnations we have been dealing with trauma, fear, anxiety, being killed for our light, or even in this life, trauma, frustration, behaviors we've done that we have shame and guilt around. We can't see what that is at all, but it's pushing to emerge, for forgiveness to come into the light. And so if we can't own it, we project it outward, and that can show, and what that does, first of all, is we can't own it, but it's there, so our frequency is low. And when our frequency is low, we are a vibrational match for other things that are low frequency, including entities. So I'm speaking on two levels here. I'm speaking on the one hand saying we're creating it all, and on the other hand, when our frequency is really low, we attract entities that can attach to us. So how can that be? Because the one is non-dual and the other is dual, or dualism. This is the paradox of reality. So whether you want to see those entities that might be attached to some people as really just their own shadow material that they can't release, can't let out, or literal external entities. Some people need help in order to break through and raise their frequency enough. They literally need help getting rid of these energies that are glommed onto them. And so I have been sharing this resource with many. There was a whole group of women at one point who actually got together with this entity removal guy that I'm going to tell you about now, because there were so many of them that needed help. I have used him as well several years ago, and it made a big difference in me being able to activate my gifts and start to come out of the broom closet of my my leadership, my spiritual leadership. So I'm just going to share this, and his name is Herman Petrick, and I'm going to share with you his website. So if you want to jot this down, you can. If you're resonating with any of this, go ahead and jot it down. globalenergyclearing.com. globalenergyclearing.com. And his name is Herman. So I just wanted to share that as a resource here, so that you have it if you're resonating with this, or if you know someone who really feels like they're having night terrors, they can't get it together to shine their light. Every time they make momentum, they fall back into addiction, they fall back into self-loathing, they fall back or get pulled back into family drama or something that really keeps them from getting ahead. It couldn't hurt, and it might help to do a little session of entity removal. Okay, so that was that piece that I didn't think I was going to share, but the bottom line is we have to get clear. And so with that now, I'm going to invite us all to take another breath. And I want to share with you an invitation for you to jot down some self-reflection, some reflections on these questions, because this is going to prepare us and set us up for the ceremony piece. So I want to invite you to jot down a few notes for the following questions, and I'll take a pause between each one. The first one is, where in your life, in this incarnation or others, have you given your power away? So go ahead and just, whatever arises, no judgment right now. Just note what arises and jot it down, or hold it in your heart for a moment. Where have you given your power away in this incarnation or others? Next question. What old beliefs, patterns, wounds, or fears need to be released once and for all from your life? Again, whatever arises, just jot down a word or two. If you're more image-oriented, you might draw a picture. And I'll repeat the question. What old beliefs, patterns, wounds, or fears need to be released once and for all? Good. Next question. Where do you feel held back by emotional baggage? And again, no judging yourself right now. For some of us, we're digging deep into the dregs after decades of self-work. So just lean into it and just notice what's there without judging, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have more baggage. And maybe you'll find that you don't, then that's okay too. One more time, I'll ask the question, where do you feel held back by old emotional baggage? Can be anything, and it might surprise you, and that's okay too. And then finally, and take a breath really for this one so that you let yourself see what this is, if it's there. Where do you feel undeserving or blocked from your deepest desires? So you might feel what that deepest desire is, and then look at where you feel undeserving or blocked, or if you feel undeserving or blocked. Without any judgment at all, just jot down whatever impressions arise. really being loving to yourself, giving yourself permission to be honest and compassionate. And then go ahead and take another breath. Really trusting the process here and trusting yourself and your own wisdom to bring you from this sort of stirring the pot, which we're doing right now, and through this portal that offers us transformation. So as I said, there are some big astrology events happening in 2020 that are already activated, and this particular eclipse window is it's an activation point. And the themes that we are about to look at and these events are all related to the axis of the signs of Cancer and Capricorn. So the next piece we're going to do is going to be the heady piece, the teaching piece, where I explain the themes that are at play so that you can begin to reflect on how you're seeing them out there in the world and how they may be showing up in your life. So we're going to start with the old. And you can see I've put an astrological wheel here and that I've circled some things, some glyphs up here and some glyphs down here. And we're going to look where this arrow is. We're going to look first on this slide at this whole conjunction of things, of energies. So really quickly, we have, this is all this Saturn, South Node, Pluto, and Moon are all right now conjunct, some of them by wider degree, but they're all next to each other. They're like Team Capricorn. I heard one astrologer call it that, Team Capricorn, in the sign of Capricorn. So this green glyph right here is the sign of Capricorn. Now, this particular wheel, I set this up for Sedona, Arizona. So for those of us on the call who are in Sedona, this is just for Sedona. But where this whole configuration is with this circle up here opposing the circle down here, that's not going to change. You're going to have these here in Capricorn and these up here in Cancer. But where they are in your chart and how they're affecting your birth chart depends on your chart. That's where having astrology readings come in. But we're just going to look right now at the themes. So Saturn is about, well, let me talk about Capricorn first. Capricorn is related to the greater society, the structures and systems of society. Capricorn is often associated with the CEO, with top-down power, hierarchical power, and with structure and control, as I said. Now, we have the South Node in Capricorn, and this is a slow-moving point in space that refers to the old, that which needs to go away, that which is leaving us, which we need to transform or let go of or shed. Then we have Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn, and Saturn is about structure, and Saturn often creates excess structure where it feels insecure. And then we have the moon there right now. So it's like we are looking, the moon is about our emotions. The moon is looking at the old South Node structures, Saturn, that no longer serve us, South Node. And then we have the big player, Pluto. Pluto's keywords are transform or suffer. Transform or suffer. Where Pluto is touching anywhere in, I see you smiling over there, Jazz, right? Where Pluto is in your chart and by transit, by sign, by house, by aspect meaning what it's conjuncting, is saying this needs to be transformed. So you could see where you've got Pluto conjunct the South Node in Capricorn. South Node, old, doesn't work anymore. Capricorn, the old rigid structures of hierarchy, domination, control, limitation. The masses have little and the few have much. Pluto's saying it's transforming, it's coming down. Okay, so these are the energies that we are dealing with right now. All of these except the moon are very slow moving, particularly Pluto. So Pluto's been in Capricorn for a while, but Saturn is coming to conjunct it, and it will be in an exact conjunction in these points of the 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, in that range in January of 2020. And then in December of 2020, we have Jupiter over here coming to conjunct it. So this whole point of this axis in the 20s, between 20 and 24 approximately, of Capricorn and Cancer are sensitive points for the evolutionary change that's going on the earth it's a portal as we move from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. This is like the preparation point, and it's about the old being shed, being dismantled, being transformed, and there's suffering in the process as we watch what's going on planetarily, and as we watch what's going on among people who are not yet awakening and are dealing with more and more drama and trauma in their lives. So you can see here on this slide, I have some words, some phrases that speak to the old and speak to this. If we're talking about a portal, we're talking about a gateway, and you've got like two pillars of the gateway. So the pillar here, the Team Capricorn pillar, end of old paradigms of control, transformation of old emotional patterns, moon, right? Emotional patterns, the moon, especially moon conjunct Pluto. Revelation of the false constructs. And again, apply this to the world at large and your own life. Dismantling external power structures and where we give away our power to external structures. Old wounds coming up to be cleared. Breakdown of old belief systems. Refusal to obey external authorities. And the recognition of fear programming. And throwing out, as one of the astrologers I like to listen to, Adrienne Elise says, thousands of years of programming. So these are the themes. Now, if you, let me give you a little tip here. If you're watching this on your computer and you want to keep an image of this, I don't know how to do it on, I know how to do it on Mac. You hit Command-Shift-4, and that will give you a little crosshairs cursor. You put it at one corner of the screen and you click and drag it down and you'll get a screenshot of this. So if you find value in these keywords, Command-Shift-4, click and drag across the screen. I'll just wait a moment as you do that. And if you can't figure it out, don't worry. You can reach out to me privately and I can send the slides or the video version of this or something, or screenshot, because these are pretty helpful if you find in the weeks and months ahead that you feel like you're being dragged through the valley of the shadows of death, you're being dragged through it. It's good to look at these sometimes and remind yourself, oh yeah, there's a bigger thing going on here. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next slide, which is the new. Now we're going to look at the new. So now we're going to come up here. You can see the arrow is pointing up here at these three glyphs. This is the sign of Cancer. So Cancer is the symbol, is a feminine water sign. And it is the symbol of the mother. You could see the glyph even looks a little bit like breasts. It's about our emotions. It's about how we feel deeply secure in the world and in our lives and in our skins. And in this sign of Cancer, we have the North Node. The North Node is the symbol, it's a point in space actually, that represents the new, that which we are calling in, that which we are wanting to bring in, to activate. And so the North Node in Cancer, literally for many, many astrologers, is seen, and certainly for astrologers like me who are into divine feminine energy, is the symbol that indicates the reawakening of the divine feminine on earth. And that doesn't mean women stepping into control systems of old structures and having a woman at the top of a hierarchy. That's not what this is about. This is about the reawakening of the feminine frequency within us, the principles of love, compassion, receptivity, caring, nurturing, considering the community and not just what's best for me and mine. So, we could look also at Capricorn energies, even though it's an earth sign, and the masculine principle generally as the mind. The mind has great value. The mind, is what we can create with, we can vision. But the mind without the heart in an ego-based body creates a mess. And so this is the portal, this is the gateway where we step in and reclaim our feminine frequency. And this is for women and men. We reclaim our feelings. We reclaim our hearts. We reclaim our love. And so with the sun here conjunct the North Node and opposite Pluto and the moon right now, the sun is literally shining the light of love upon the shadows of what has been before so that we can see it, love it, forgive it, and release it. And then we have Venus coming in right now. And Venus is the goddess of love, but she's much more than that. She is about our self-worth. She is about our values. She is about our capacity to receive nurture, care. She is about our capacity to stand in our own value and live our most authentic self. So you can see now, I hope, how powerful this window of time is. And while Venus and the sun move quickly, that North Node is going to continue to be in opposition to the Pluto South Node Saturn conjunction for some time. So we are really we're calling in the new. And keywords here, shine your light, the sun, shine your light, bring your authentic gifts forward and value them, Venus, the North Node, Cancer. Nurture yourself, your family, and your community, North Node in Cancer. Honor your feelings, Sun in Cancer, North Node Cancer, Venus, Cancer. Claim your self-worth, Venus. Embody your truth, Venus, North Node. Claim your personal authority, that's Sun. Sun is your personal authority. Have compassion, forgiveness, and nurture for yourself and others, but for yourself first. And I will live my values and share my light is a great key word. So before we move on, if you have figured out that whole screenshot Command-Shift-4 thing, you can go ahead and do that again. I'll give you a moment for that if you haven't already done that. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next thing. And this is, again, just more sort of information before we get ready to go into the ceremonial part. So these are more full sentences to summarize this whole portal, this gateway of transformation we are standing in right now. And with that, before I even say these, I want to say that oftentimes in life, and many of you on this call are already transformational healers and teachers, so you know how this goes. You see your clients standing at the gate of transformation, and they just won't walk through it. There's too much holding them back. I see some nods among you. And what I want to emphasize here is that we're getting to the point where we have been pushed so far because of conditioning of hate and fear that it's like we're at a precipice. And it's becoming less and less possible to not walk through that gate. And we know, I think all of you on this call or who listen to this later understand the way in which when you do your healing work and raise your vibrational frequency, it's like you upload that to the collective so that it makes it more possible for others. So please never underestimate the value of your courage to walk through a gate of transformation when it's scary for you. So with that, here are some summarizing sentences. We're at a point where we are no longer willing to let external authorities control us or tell us who we are. And again, remember, apply these statements to both the collective and the individual. Where that's showing up in your life could be anywhere. It could be your career. It could be a spouse. It could be a part of you that is just believing the old belief systems of your family, and you're like, I really got to stop this. Whatever it is, it's like we're, as a nice Italian East Coast girl would say, we're up to here with it. The revelation of the delusions, the lies, the fake programming and belief systems that have been controlling us are coming now. And that's going to send a lot of people into confusion and fear. It's going to trigger fear, especially because people who are still in the real mainstream consciousness, they are being constantly indoctrinated to be in fear and hate and entertainment. Entertainment, what does it become? Things like Game of Thrones, where decapitation and torture are entertainment. So we have to think about this as the light workers. Yes, we're uploading high frequency to the collective, but we also are showing up as the healers and helpers to deal with the confusion as they start to see how, as the masses start to awaken and see how they've been manipulated. And how, and all of their, that thing I said about all that shadow material, all that fear and fear programming, fear porn that's in their own psyches, that's bubbling to the surface. So sudden revelations of where we have given our power away or compromised our values for the sake of old structures and belief, from family to corporations and nation states. And I would add to that sudden revelations of our own choices and behaviors that have been disconnected from love, our own cruelty towards self and others. That can trigger a lot of guilt and shame for people. Also uncovering incarnational patterns of fear, unworthiness, shame, and guilt. We are preparing for a final shedding of the veils of illusion, both personally and collectively. And this could still be several years away, but we're going to see more and more as it's coming. I can say this, though, this portal that we're in, it's like there's no more going back anymore. A door is closing to the old way. So for those of us who are, incarnationally, we've been here, we've been coming again and again to shine our light, to bring our gifts. We have to stop going back to the old traumas of old lifetimes that say, no one wants our gifts. I was burned at the stake. I was this and that. It's like, done. We have to be done with this. We have to step in and claim our light and lead from that place and not hide in the broom closets of fear and, fear anymore. This is super, super important that we do this. We do this for ourselves. We do it for the collective. It's time to shed all those old belief patterns about unworthiness to receive support and or the inability to share our gifts. It's time to honor your worth, your gifts, your right to safety, to love, and to your authentic presence here. Okay. Oh, I got to take another breath. Okay. So, reclaiming our light, transformation and healing. That's what this is about. So let's take a moment to go back to those questions or those little responses that you jotted down. So go ahead and have a look at your notes. I'm just going to repeat the questions a little faster. Where have you given your power away? What old belief patterns or wounds or fears need to be released once and for all? Where might you still feel held back by old emotional baggage? Remember that moon in Capricorn conjunct Pluto, old emotional baggage. Where do you feel undeserving of your deepest desires and your greatest dreams? And just look at those, and I want to invite you to find a central theme or core insight. What's the thread that connects everything you've jotted down? Maybe it's a feeling like shame or guilt. Maybe it's an area of your life, like still holding on to anger toward a parent or a former spouse. Maybe it's about, money and having money wounds. That was one for me for a long, long time. Or feeling lonely in your life. And again, no judgment. Just notice what that is and write it down. Even if it doesn't make sense, just write it down. This is the piece we're going to work with in the next segment. This is really the sort of exciting part of our gathering today, because this is a piece that's unscripted, and I have to go into a connection with my guidance to see what comes through. Okay. Remember, we are surrendering the past and calling in the light of our truest, highest, wisest, deepest, eternal self. So, we're going to go into a little bit of a guided meditation now. So again, I want to invite you all to get yourself comfortable. Have a look at that one thing you wrote down, because you're going to close your eyes now. Close your eyes and take a breath. Getting reconnected. That was a lot of information already. So now we're going to trust and know and trust that your subconscious mind has taken in the key pieces that you need to do this sacred work. And breathing deeply, I want you to take that one thing that you wrote down, and for a moment in your mind's eye, imagine you're holding it in your hand. If it works for you to put your hand or hands in front of you like you're holding something, you can do that as well. Or you could just do it in your imagination. And holding that one thing right there in your hands, I want you to watch it and allow it to morph into whatever it needs to morph into. Maybe it's words, maybe it's an image, maybe it's a memory, a scene. Just let it morph into whatever it is. Maybe it's just a color or shape. Good. Trusting your imagination to let it be whatever it wants to be. And now I want you to really witness this piece, this part, this thing, this whatever it is for you. And take a deep breath into your heart. Like you're pulling and drawing light into your heart space. Light just pouring in, pouring in, pouring into your heart. And on the exhale, pouring that light, offering it to that piece, to that part, offering it. And notice what happens as the light pours forward. Maybe that part repels it. Maybe it absorbs it. Just notice. Good. And now breathing in again, pull love and light. And light is love. Light is information. Light is love. Pulling it into your heart space. And again, exhaling and offering that love light to this piece of you, this part, this connective thread. Whatever it is, offering it love and light. Good, and let's do this one more time. Again, breathing in deeply, pulling in love and light into your heart space, really filling yourself up with air, feeling expanded by it, taking in so much love and light. Good. And as you exhale, offering it to this piece, this part. And if it doesn't want it, just let it go into the ethers, offering that love and light to all that is. Just observing what's going on here in surrender and acceptance. And now as you breathe in, I want you to call up a feeling, a gift, something that you need to express and share with this piece, this part, this thread. And as you exhale in your mind or out loud, you can share whatever it is you need to express. Just let the words, the feelings, the thoughts pour out. If tears come, let tears come. If anger comes, let anger come. Knowing that love and light are supporting both of you, express whatever needs to be expressed right now. See whatever needs to be seen right now. Staying connected with your breath, staying connected with the light. Expressing and sharing whatever needs to be shared, witnessing, giving yourself permission. Good. That's right. And when you're ready, taking another breath in, bringing that love and light into your being, feeling the way you are filled, saturated, shielded, surrounded in light. Let this piece, this part, this thread share with you, show you anything else it needs to share. Just receiving any guidance, any impressions, even if it makes no sense at all. This is a safe space for you to allow. Allow this piece to express fully, to show you whatever it wants to show you now. Good. And now we're going to call upon the divine Holy Mother, Spirit Sophia, the feminine aspect of God, of all that is, to come now and support this work. Holy Mother, Spirit Sophia, we ask you to come and to support us in transmuting whatever needs to be transmuted and transformed right now. Assist us in surrendering whatever needs to be surrendered right now. Please take from us that which no longer serves our highest good, that which may have held us back in the past. We love, honor, and accept whatever this was for us, knowing that it is time now to let it go in the name of love. Holy Mother, take this from us now and bring it to the light, in service to love, in service to all that is. And so now in your mind's eye, sisters, see the Holy Spirit, the Holy Mother Spirit, Sophia, come, offering her love, that compassion of the Mother, to take this from you, trusting and knowing that it is merging with the light of love, uploading to the collective a healed and whole energy in service to all. Holy Mother Spirit, we offer up that which no longer serves us, that we may all be healed and free. We surrender to you all that is not in service to love. And thank you, thank you, thank you for taking to the light and assisting us in this journey as we walk through the gates of transformation at this time of the great turning of the ages on earth. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And taking a breath now, allowing this to be fully released, whatever that is, let it be released now, and taking in the love and light of the divine Mother, Father, God, the all that is, the true you, the oneness that you are. Breathing it in. Imagine light pouring in, filling you, saturating you still and again and always. You are that which you came here to be now. You are the love and light that is the divine in form. You are, we are one in love. Blessed be. And taking a deep breath. And taking all the time you need to open your eyes when you're ready. Come back to this space. And I just want to share a few things, what your next step might be, some integration or what you might expect in the weeks ahead, perhaps even in the months ahead. First, I want to invite you to keep a journal of your feelings. Really notice what this triggers for you, what this brings up, transforms, transmutes. Notice the players that show up in your life, the people, the circumstances. Just track anything that comes up related, and particularly, of course, to old beliefs, old emotional patterns, old fears or themes of unworthiness. And you can do the same exact process. Call in the light to yourself, write it down, bring it up where you can see it and witness it, bring light in, offer love and light to it, let it share whatever it needs to share with you, and offer it up to the Holy Spirit, the Holy Mother Spirit, Sophia, that it may be transmuted into light. So you can do that process as many times as you want when things arise. Also track where you tend to habitually give your power away or trust external authorities out of habit. Like, oh, well, the doctor said, that kind of thing. Notice where you fall into putting on old masks to keep others comfortable. And throughout it all, love and forgive yourself no matter what arises. We have all been conditioned into fear, judgment, separation, giving up our authority, giving up our sovereignty, trusting external authorities over our own for lifetimes, for generations. So love and forgive yourself no matter what arises. I actually have little Post-its around my house now that say, I forgive myself. Dump the guilt. Let it go. Keep giving yourself permission to receive, nurture, and support. Remember that Cancer energy and the North Node in Cancer. When people want to offer you something, accept it with grace and gratitude. We're all trained to, oh, no, that's okay. I've got this. Thank you. How about, wow, thank you so much. Thank you. Ask for specific guidance to reveal your mission and gifts and nurture the truth of who you are. Okay, so as we come to the end of this, I want to invite us all to just take a moment and breathe as I release the circle. So just taking a breath, you can close your eyes if you want. I want to acknowledge and thank the spirits of the four directions, the guides, the elementals, the guardians, the master teachers. To the energies of the North, we say thank you for holding us in this sacred space. Hail and farewell. To the energies and the guides and the guardians of the West, we say thank you for holding us in this sacred space. We release you now. Hail and farewell. To the blessed guardians of the South, we say thank you for holding us in this sacred space and release you now. Hail and farewell. And to the guardians of the East, we say thank you for holding us in this sacred space. We release you now. Hail and farewell. And so it is, dear ones, that the circle is open and yet unbroken. May the peace of the divine be in our hearts, and merry meet, and merry part, and merry meet again. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Blessings to you. This recording will go out in another day. And yeah, with that, have a blessed weekend, dear ones. Much love to all of you. Bye for now. Thank you. Thank you.